Today is Friday, April the 24th. I want to update you on the actions the board took at our recess meeting on Tuesday night. The measures we took were drastic, and we took them to counteract the impact of the COVID-19 virus. It is my very sad and difficult duty to share with you the effect the virus is having on our wonderful city and our entire community. As part of keeping us safe, our need to shelter in place has created very real consequences. What that means to our city's financial position is becoming painfully evident. As elected leaders, we cannot delay making some increasingly difficult choices. Having to cut services is difficult, but to furlough our employees is as hard as anything we will ever have to do. But that's where we are right now. The board took several critical steps to lessen the impact of our loss of sales tax revenue to our current budget. The proposal was predicated on the estimated minimum loss of $1.3 million of sales tax. Sales tax makes up about 35 to 40% of our city's annual funding. This $1.3 million loss figure could get as much larger before we are back to normal. A city is like a business. If we lose projected revenue, then we have to take immediate action to address that loss. Prior to this past meeting, we had already put in place a hiring freeze, cutting all travel for 60 days, suspending scheduled pay raises for 60 days, and any new equipment purchases. At our most recent board meeting, we extended those same measures through the end of this fiscal year, which is September 30th, 2020. We also amended our current budget by reducing expenditures by more than $750,000. We did that by canceling all travel and training, cutting capital projects, continuing minimum maintenance of our parks, including not opening our swimming pool for this season. Those are just a few of the deepest cuts. The Board of Aldermen and I and the department heads are taking a 20% pay cut. This is effective starting today. The most difficult step we took was to furlough 47 of our employees. These are our friends and our neighbors, and we depend on them to make Starkville the best she can be. This hurts, and it is my goal for this to be of the shortest duration possible. These furloughs are timed so our employees can take advantage of the CARES Act. This federal program provides those unemployed because of the virus an additional $600 per week. That, with the unemployment paid by the city of $235 per week, will provide take-home pay of $835 per week. In some cases, this is greater than they are currently getting by being at work. The CARES Act ends on July the 31st, 2020. In order to take advantage of that, we had to act now. I spent time this week talking with our employees who are being furloughed. Those were difficult conversations, but I wanted to be very clear with them and you that this is not about their job performance. This is strictly about finding where we can make cuts that will have the least negative impact on our basic municipal functions. We have the best employees of any city anywhere, but there are areas that must be viewed as non-critical during a time such as this. Those are the services that we have suspended. Unlike a layoff, a furlough will also allow employees to keep their health insurance. At this time of a health crisis, we simply must keep the health care benefits for our employees. We have projected these cost savings using the date of the last pay period in July. Again, this is because that's when the CARES Act currently ends. There is no doubt that our people are our most important asset, but they are also the greatest expense. This furlough is a last resort. We have kept our employees on paid administrative leave for over a month now, and we simply can't afford to continue to do that. It's important to recognize that even if the governor opens up the state next week, this is no longer about simply being safe from COVID-19. It is now about cutting costs until the recovery allows us to return to normal and offset the losses from the business closings because of the need to shelter in place. I know these cuts will disappoint and upset many of you who look forward to using our parks, especially our pool, during the hot summer months. We were all anticipating seeing the improvements we had planned to make in our streets and our sidewalks. These things had to be part of our cost-cutting measures. We will see a difference in our ability to keep our city beautification program going. We will still be cutting grass and maintaining our roadways. It will just be less frequently. I ask for your patience as we work to maintain these areas. I have heard questions about our ending fund balance. This is sometimes referred to as a contingency fund or a rainy day fund. Our ending fund balance is only $1.5 million. This cushion can help us get by in cases such as this, but it would take very little to use it up. It is appropriate that we consider using it, but we can't deplete it. We must have reserve funds to meet other potential emergencies, or if this pandemic recovery is deeper and takes much longer than we hope. The department heads and Alderman Sistrunk, the budget chair, and I will monitor our finances regularly to look for a trend of our recovery. When that positive trend appears, I will be the first one to ask the Board of Aldermen to bring our employees back and resume the level of service that we are all used to enjoying. We know that we must consider cuts going into our next budget year. We will be assessing where we are over the next few months. We must craft a budget that allows us to meet our basic service requirements and yet respect the continued loss of sales tax revenue from the lingering effects of the virus. I know that we are ready to be together and enjoy our very social and event-filled city. No one misses bustling downtown more than I do. It will be a quiet summer, but because we have all worked to stay safe, I believe we will be able to enjoy the time when the students return and our many events bring that vibrancy and energy back into Starkville. In the meantime, please continue to respect the need to socially distance, wear a mask whenever possible, and continue to follow the CDC guidelines. I want to thank you for all you have done and are doing to make Starkville the very best place to live. We are all in this together, and together we're going to make it through. Thank you.